China said it dispatched ships and planes to track the U.S. guided missile destroyer, John S. McCain, as it passed near Chinese-held islands in the South China Sea. The People's Liberation Army accused the U.S. warship of trespassing into Chinese territorial waters on Friday near the Paracel Islands, called Xisha by China, during the latest freedom of navigation missions by the U.S. Navy aimed at defying China's vast claims in the strategic waterway. A spokesperson for the PLA's Southern Theater Command Colonel Zhang Nandong said Beijing demanded the U.S. end such actions, calling them blatant navigation hegemony and military provocation that seriously violated China's sovereignty and security interests, and gravely jeopardized peace and stability in the South China Sea. We urge the U.S. side to immediately stop such kind of provocative actions, strictly manage and control its maritime and air military operations so as not to cause any eventuality, Zhang was quoted as saying by the official Xinhua news agency. China claims sovereignty over virtually the entire South China Sea, which is also claimed in whole or in part by Taiwan, the Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, and Vietnam. Frictions between China and Indonesia have also increased over activities by China's fishing vessels, the Coast Guard, and the Navy within Indonesia's exclusive economic zone. Meanwhile, a reported spike in U.S. military flights over the seas near China reflects Washington's drive to understand and deter Chinese expansion in contested waters, analysts say. U.S. Army Major Randy Reddy, a spokesperson for the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, would say only that flight frequency near China has been consistent over time. Most sorties flew over the South China Sea, the organization's website says. Beijing contests sovereignty over that resource-rich, 3.5 million square kilometer sea with 5 other Asian governments, and U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo said in July that Washington would help other states resist Chinese expansion. American planes fly anywhere that it's legal and continue their flights in Asia. While the scope of our operations varies based on the current operating environment, the U.S. has a persistent military presence and routinely operates throughout the Indo-Pacific, including the waters and airspace surrounding the East China Sea and the South China Sea, he said. He called the air movement a continued demonstration of our commitment to the region and our willingness to defend the freedoms enshrined in international law. China alarmed other countries as it expanded in the sea from about 2010 through 2017 by landfilling tiny islets for military, civilian, and resource exploitation purposes. It has more firepower than the other maritime claimants, including Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Vietnam. Pompeo accused China's governing Communist Party earlier this month of exploitation, corruption and coercion in its treatment of other countries. Beijing points to historic usage records as support for its claim to about 90% of the South China Sea. Of the U.S. flights that the Chinese research organization says passed offshore in September, it reports that 2/3 went to the South China Sea. Some planes were disguised as Malaysian or Philippine aircraft, the organization's October 12 report online says. The report says the U.S. planes were sent to spy on China. China is paying attention to U.S. missions because it wants the United States to think it couldn't win an air war with China, said Stephen Nagy, Senior Associate Professor of Politics and International Studies at International Christian University in Tokyo. The United States has an advantage in combat and deployment experience, plus backup, if needed, from allies including Japan, South Korea, and Australia, he said. Washington has to show its air power, Nagy said, because, I think China has tried to create the narrative that it can make any conflict with China extremely expensive for the United States. The U.S. Navy's P-8A Poseidon patrol planes, one type mentioned by the Chinese research organization, plays a key role in Asia, particularly on joint missions with other countries, the U.S. Naval Institute website said in 2018. Naval EP-3E Airborne Reconnaissance Integrated Electronic System 2 surveillance planes, another kind of aircraft cited by the Chinese organization, are the same type as one that China forced to land in 2001 as it flew just 130 kilometers offshore.